So what is the first 20 hours, Steve?
The first 20 hours is a book by this guy named Josh Kaufman. You can learn the basics of any new skill like in 20 hours or less. It's not saying you can master it. You're not going to become an expert, but you're going to learn the basics. You're going to get utility out of the skill. It's going to benefit you.
So you already put your 20 hours into FL Studio?
I don't know how much I've put in, but I've definitely hit over the 20-hour mark at this point. I just kind of fell in love with making the melodies.
Yeah. How like close did you stay to the checklist and everything? Like, did you really expand upon each like?
So what I did is I looked at the checklist and I just saw which ones applied. So not all of them are going to apply to like your skills. I would say the first thing, and this is like one of the most important things, to research the skill right before you like dive in for your 20 hours. Or, I mean, that's essentially part of the 20 hours, I guess.
Yeah, what I mainly got from that section is like, it is hella true that you can save yourself a lot of time.
Yeah.
By really researching and understanding the concepts.
Exactly. And then that's where I feel like some people can just get naturally frustrated because like they don't dive into like, how do I learn it? They just start trying and then they don't see any results or they're not.
I forget what section they talk about this, like what principle, but there's one like where he talks about getting really not frustrated, but like not even maybe overwhelmed, but not even understanding something.
Yeah.
About the skill. Like like when I started making beats, I would hear beats that were crazy, you know, and I couldn't even fathom like understanding or like even knowing how to make them, you know.
Exactly.
But then as you get into it, you'll learn.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm still in the position where I'm listening to what you're doing, and like I can make maybe like a basic beat, but like some of the stuff you're still doing right now, to me, is still magic. It's like I don't know how to do that, or at least the skill set you have is still magic. I don't know how to listen to a song and be like, oh, I could recreate that right now, you know?
Dude, it's or do something similar. Feeling when you like get close to it, like around there, at least like way more songs that you like, you listen to, you'll be like, okay, I can pick that apart.
But that Einstein quote was, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solution.
Oh yeah, I think they talk about like a well-defined problem. It's like
is a problem half solved or something. Yeah, exactly. Another thing that I especially focused on with this one is fast feedback loops. So like I wouldn't focus on perfecting a song too much. Like if I wasn't liking the sound, I would kind of just start over.
What was that? Just like the beginning of the melody?
It would be kind of throughout the process. Sometimes it would be I didn't even like the melody, but sometimes I would make a melody I liked, but the drums and everything weren't sounding right. And I feel like I still have like a ton more to learn, really.
Hell yeah.
But being able to like just make something.
Ahead, though, but like actually using the book, you know, the guidelines.
Yeah.
Dude, because I can already tell, you know, just from watching you, like you're already way ahead. But that's because I helped you.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like I had, like when you said seek the magicians.
Facts.
Yeah, I love that phrase because it's like it's really true. If you're trying to elevate yourself in a skill, find yourself someone that like has that skill set. So like you were able to quickly tell me like those like major hurdles that you passed or those major understandings you came through, and you were like, you handed to me simply. You were like, oh yeah, make sure there's 4 claps. Like, you know, space out the kicks, you know?
How did you deconstruct the skill into the subskills?
So in my research, I looked up like what might be useful to learn when like, because you're making music, right?
Yeah.
So I just started looking into music theory. And understanding the basics of music in general, like things like tone and pitch, because I wasn't familiar with any of these things. Tempo. So like, I don't think I could have like, I think really defining things, especially for me. I kind of learned this from when I just like learning languages. Once I define something, I can understand it way better. Like if I just like write it out or know how to say it.
Yeah. Do you know how to like find out the tempo now, like using the tap thing?
No, I wouldn't say I could do that but like if you showed me, like,
because like that took me and it's like almost sounds so stupid because it's like.
But how useful is that? What do you wait? So just say like what you do.
You just bang out to the song.
Like what do you follow in your head?
Natural, the beat.
The beat.
Follow the beat. Like it's super natural. Like if you can't like knock your head to the beat, like you probably have some problem. Like you might as well pick up music. But
yeah,
it's super natural. Like even babies, they'll just rock to the tempo. Like
yeah,
and in FL Studio, you just tap to that tempo,
okay,
like to the movement of your head or whatever you.
One of the quotes that I really like from here, from the book itself, it says, "The recognition of confusion itself is a form of clarity." So like right now, the fact that I know that I don't know how to like check the beat, and you're saying it's useful to know, especially if you're trying to recreate some song that you like.
Yeah.
Then like I know like that's something I have to learn. I feel like that's what some people avoid. Like when they're confused, they're like
they avoid the confusion.
They avoid that problem. They they like go like do something else that's
you
less.
Gotta understand the importance of it. Like once you realize how important that is, then you're gonna have to learn.
For you, reading this book, what would your approach have been if you were jumping into like what you previously did, like just like learning music
with the knowledge that I got from the book now?
Yeah, like how would you change up your approach? Like how would you do it if you were to redo it again with this following these steps, or just having more insight into a learning process?
Honestly, I would just look more into the what was that one called? Eliminating the barriers to practice, because I just get distracted super easily.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really important was researching the skill, and like I did enough of that. Like that's actually maybe I did too much of that. Like instead of practicing, like because even since I started, I've always been like trying to perfect my beats, even since the beginning. So like I would always almost be like scared to like make trash beats, even though I was already like trash, and I knew it. But I watched a lot of tutorials.
Yeah.
So I researched the skill a lot, but I definitely didn't. I didn't deconstruct anything. Like you definitely can with like music, like you can put the melodies aside and like learn, like dive into that, and then the drums, the mixing, all that sound selection.
Yeah. I was like watching a video, like creators were saying, people can deal with like shitty video, but like bad audio, people hate.
That's true, especially for a podcast.
So what do you think that says about like people in general and like their interest, or like I feel like that speaks to something about like sound in general.
Yeah, well, because if you're just watching it, you don't hear anything. You're not getting any of the knowledge, whatever they're talking about. So yeah, the audio is key, especially in the podcast.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was thinking about that. I was just thinking like, that's just interesting. Like we would much prefer like crisp, clean audio and, some context, it could be recording. It could be like recording like 240p, like a potato, like,
exactly.
So,
I guess it would depend on what content, and it's like if it's a podcast, then I don't give a fuck about the video quality that much.
That's true. Fact.
But if it's a movie or animation like One Punch Man, like
true,
you better have good ass animation.
True. Yeah, I've been staying away from animes that like have like older, just like because it's just getting so good.
Dude, like Dragon Ball Z has so much of that. They were called like frame glitches or something like that. Like there would be certain frames where the drawing would just be like shit. Like
oh really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like it even happened in Super, which is
anywhere.
Going back to your question though.
Yeah.
I would have just applied like all these, like the checklist for the rapid skill acquisition and what was it? Learning, effective learning.
Okay. Especially
like the practice by the clock in short bursts, like that would have helped me a lot. I feel like just because I get distracted easily, and I think sitting down for 20 minutes, like just telling yourself like you got to do this 20 minutes, like that's easier for me at least. Yeah, exactly. No, that makes a lot of sense because even for me, when I tell myself like, okay, like 30 minutes focus, and then I can like, relax or just do something else, right? That motivates me enough to like really dial in. Reading this book, seeing
the steps? Did it inspire any sort of ideas for like if you want to improve maybe an aspect of music or just a different skill in general?
Yeah, learning the piano.
That'll be actually super cool.
Yeah,
because you have a keyboard too. You can use that, right?
Yeah.
I'm
excited. I think I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna try? Are you gonna try this at least to see how much you've progressed in 20 hours? I'm
gonna do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I know like when you're trying to like maybe just looking for the project or the skill, like it has to be a lovable one.
Yeah.
That you really like.
Yeah.
Did you think twice about music, or did you know that was like?
I knew it was a lovable project because just listening to music, experiencing like I've always said like I feel like music is or I self-medicate with music. Like
everyone does.
It can really
even
just change your mood just like that.
Exactly. That's what people listen to.
Exactly. So I automatically knew like I already love music. So like exploring it, seeing where if I can maybe like make music that I can incorporate in my videos, like because that's the thing, I don't pay for like subscription services for like music. I can find music, but sometimes it's a hassle. But like starting with the music, like I feel like I can already see myself like making something, hearing it, seeing like a vision in my head, and being like, okay, like I want to make something to this of this nature, you know.
And then you being able to implement it in your videos, like this.
It was a perfect skill to learn too.
Exactly.
Like it really hit all the like dots.
Exactly.
It was easy because like I had someone to learn from. It was something that would help me. I wish I would have had somebody. Like, facts. But the thing is like I don't know, like I feel like I can help you with like things like if you were ever to like want to learn video editing and stuff, put you on like that. Like even After Effects, which gets more into like the editing, can easily show you like just like things to like to start making cool stuff.
Like I could make like videos for my beats.
Yeah, exactly. With the audio spectrum and have it like follow it. Exactly. Yeah. So I guess going back to just this in general, how do you feel about the cliche work smarter, not harder?
I totally agree with it.
Yes.
It's a cliche, like we talked about this. But they're true. Like there's no way around those things.
Exactly. I've been looking at cliches differently. Like I look at cliches now and I'm like seeking the wisdom. Because the wisdom is there. We've just been conditioned to ignore it. You know?
Exactly. It's almost ironic that they're called like, I don't know, cliches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like, oh, it's just cliche, like disregarded.
It's ignored when you really should be like focusing on that. Like that should be something
really
you like
dissected.
You should spend 10,000 hours on. Talking about 10,000 hours, like how do you feel about the 10,000 hour rule? And if you can define it if you want.
Well, because I think they that's like for mastery, right? Is that
for expert levels?
Expert level. Yeah, well, I feel like before this knowledge and like it is kind of true. Like you do need a shit ton of hours, but I don't know. Like I'm just not familiar enough with this. But like 10,000 hours does sound like a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I think especially like if you're really becoming more organized and just work smarter.
Yeah,
like learn smarter too. Like with the first 20 hours, like if you apply that since the beginning, you definitely won't need 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I agree.
Even to master level.
I agree. Yeah, so it got the 10,000 hour rule got popularized by Malcolm Gladwell. He's the psychologist. So like essentially people have like refuted it just saying like, oh, you're wrong. And he even now like agrees. Yeah. So I'm actually interested. Like I'm curious what is the number to like, the thing is, but it also goes into like, there's no real definition of an expert. You can always improve. So like, I don't know. It is like kind of a question that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because
like, if you want to become an expert in something, like the best experts continually do it past the 10,000 hour point. So like, yeah, they say it would take like 8, like imagine like a normal job. Like you're working like 8 hours. It would take like 3 years or something like that. That's like, that is a lot of time.
It would be a full-time job for them.
Yeah.
I feel like the people who do accomplish that and do put in the 10,000 hours are just, they're super passionate. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They already love it. Like they'll do it for, even if they're not getting paid or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
How did you define your target performance level?
Okay. So my target performance level, it was simple. I just wanted to make like decent hip hop beats. The most utility that's going to come out of learning this is like to use it in my videos.
Yeah.
So like I just want to use like music inspired from music I like in my videos. So like my target performance level is like a little just kind of broad in that area. Yeah. Just trying to explore the more film, and then the more like I like hip hop music like the most in general. So like putting that type of music in there, I thought like would be cool. So like just kind of explore both ranges, but I'm probably gonna meet in the middle in terms of like what I'm actually gonna like come out with. Yeah, I think being able like getting to that level, that point where you can translate your passion of music like, through the DAW. Yeah, like the power of the DAW. Exactly, bro. It's really just powerful. Like, it's so powerful. It's a full orchestra, exactly. Just like you have exactly. All those people. You have the power. You have that power. If you decide to get into piano, what would your target performance level be? Or like, what do you think? What would you be satisfied with in 20 hours? In 20 hours. That's a good question. Like, I'm glad you remind me in 20 hours. Yeah. I forget like. Because eventually, I think my goal is to just really, like I was saying, translate my like whatever I'm feeling, whatever I want to play. Yeah. Like translate it through the piano instead. Like. Okay. Yeah. Just be really fluid. Like I just want to be fluid. Like. Yeah. And I want to be more familiar with the keys, each tone. Each sound of each key, like F sharp. Yeah. Middle C, whatever. Mm-hmm. I want to be more familiar and just get better with the melodies because I feel like that's going to help me for sure. Yeah. But in the first 20 hours, I would say like maybe just be able to like fluently play a song like a Coldplay, like something. Oh, okay. Some songs that you know, like, and I'm definitely going to pick like a handful of songs that are, I don't know, they're like different scales. So okay. They can teach me the skills that you like. It'll be like a wider range. Yeah, I like that goal. I think, and I don't think it's too unrealistic. True. How do you feel about, and have you noticed a pattern with the difference between setting goals that are not personal and setting goals that are personal? Like, do you feel like setting goals that are more personal, like incline you to actually go through with it? For sure. Can you give me, I think I know what you mean, but like give me an example of like a personal. Like there's just something you've always wanted to learn. Okay. Yeah, like the piano. Well, the piano is a personal goal too. Yeah. Even before I like even knew I wanted to make beats, I wanted to play the piano. I feel like I'm going to let myself down if I never learn the piano. Like it is personal. Yeah, exactly. It's personal for sure. Yeah, I like that. I think if it's personal, like... Or I think at least you should start with the personal ones, Especially now that I like make beats, like exactly. I need to know. I think part of it, it would help you so much. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like you had maybe some basics of like understanding chords, because like exactly. Maybe it might just be the motion of like playing, Dude, I think most of it is gonna be the muscle memory. Like really just practicing them. True. It's crazy you can think and have musical ideas. I've never had a musical idea before, but like now, like learning through the DAW. Yeah, once you're more familiar with it, yeah. See, the DAW speaks to you as well. Exactly. The DAW comes to me in my imagination. Yeah. Knowing that you can learn a new skill in 20 hours or less and actually have it provide like value to you. Yeah. Is that a new idea for you? Is that something you haven't heard of before coming across this book? Before I forced you to read this book? It is. It is. That's hell funny. Yeah. It is though. Were you asking if it was new? Yeah, it is new. Yeah, is that a new idea? 20 hours? Yeah. Like it almost sounded too good to be true. Kind of clickbaity? Yeah. Because 20 hours, that's less than a day, than a full day. True. So if you were to actually like really think about it,
the point like where that's gonna get you, it's a short amount of time.
It is.
I wasn't familiar with it.
Okay.
I never really thought about it, but if you would have just told me, like it was an idea of yours or something, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know.
I
sure
see.
about that.
Okay, that's interesting.
But really breaking it down like that, it makes total sense.
I remember this from his TED Talk. The popularization of the 10,000 hour rule. What it did for people was it made people start to think that like skills took time much time to like really
not feasible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it definitely like did when I first heard about it. Like I said, I never really like thought too much of it, but I kind of believed it too for a minute. But it is kind of like discouraging.
Yeah. When you're looking at it, especially from 10,000 hours.
Exactly.
I'm looking at 10,000 hours like I'm not trying to learn anything for the rest of my life. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess maybe through experience you'll feel this more, but like, does it bring you excitement to like start thinking in this way? Like, oh, like if I do want to learn something, it's not going to take too much time.
Yeah, exactly. No, the possibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, they do make me excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do the piano, and then depending how that goes, it probably won't be the first or the last time.
The thing is, for me, what was actually really cool is I remembered again how hard it is, at least at first, to feel dumb, like to not know what you're doing. Like it's frustrating. You feel a frustrating feeling inside. But luckily for me, it took me about maybe like in the second or third day, I was at least having fun with it, with like the chords. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because I like downloaded the sounds with the VS, like a new sound, and then that just inspired me right there.
Does Josh Coughlin talk about that? I think he talks about it at the beginning of the book.
What?
Starting to learn a new skill. It's like can be off-putting to a lot of people because they just know they're gonna be shit.
Yeah, he does talk about that, and it's true. I felt that.
Once you get over that, though.
Yeah, exactly. If you can get over that hill, it started becoming really fun, and that's why I did more than 20 hours in like. Yeah, like this idea only came about like 2 weeks ago. You know, like I didn't like this hasn't been a long stretch of time. Like I've probably only gone into like maybe like 25 or 26 hours of really just like making stuff. Because like I was really just kind of going through it. It's actually
pretty powerful if you think about it.
Yeah, it is powerful.
Because now that skill is with you forever.
Exactly.
And you're only going to get better. And it was so fast.
Facts,
It didn't take that long.
Yeah, the whole process was very fluid, I would say. Yeah. Like there was no friction.
You did have a cheat code though, like me. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like I'm trying to think how it would have been different without me.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Well, I definitely wouldn't be skill wise where I am now for sure. I don't think I would have quit, but I think I would have felt that that discouraging feeling that I was talking about earlier a lot more.
Especially if you really do the 28 hours, are you supposed to?
Yeah.
And really break shit down, like with the internet, with tutorials, like you're straight, you're good.
I'm remembering this because you mentioned the Lovable project. Yeah. I think I was like 14. I wanted to like make beats and like I found like some website or something, but whatever I made was like so bad. Mm-hmm. I wish I had it to like really listen to it, but it was so bad, and I didn't even download a program actually for it either. Yeah. So like it wasn't like easy to like start getting into and stuff, and so basically I just gave it up. Right. So trying this again or thinking about it made me realize like, oh, like I've had this at least desire to want to learn before.
I tried making beats before, like 5 years ago. No, longer than that. Yeah. Like around high school. Like on the, what's it called? The one on the iPhone? GarageBand? Yeah.
I think I remember. I remember playing around with GarageBand a little bit.
My cousin, I remember there was this dude that like, he was like one of the first people to like really blow up on YouTube. Long ass time ago. And he used to make like, I think he's called Guitar Man or something. I'm gonna look him up. Okay. But he would make beats, but with just like banging on shit.
Everyday objects?
Record it. Huh? Yeah. Everyday objects.
Oh, that's actually...
It was hella cool.
That plays into the entertainment.
Tried to do it once. Like, I mean, literally just the mic and like spoons and shit. Like, you know where the... It was dog shit.
Yeah, of course.
So like we never did it again. But yeah, like the interest always been there.
The first 20 hours or 20 hours in general to learn a new skill is kind of like paradigm shifting a bit, you know?
It is.
It's a paradigm shifting idea. I think that plays into the brain and how the brain is plastic. And I wish, so there's certain things like about the brain that I wish like everyone knew. I wish it was just taught in school and we just knew this. And like one of the things is that the brain is plastic. Like it's able to change. Like that's basically what plasticity means, you know? That the brain changes with us as we like learn and do other things, you know?
It's fascinating.
It's nice to know that because I feel people get stuck in their ways, you know?
Yeah.
They feel like they start saying they can't change and that sort of thing. But, you know, if you really focus, that's the thing that's a big part of like the 20 hours. You got to have 20 focused hours.
Yeah.
20 hours of deliberate practice.
Like a lot of older people do believe that, you know, like the brain, like once you're older, you can't change.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's not true.
That's true. I don't know if that knowledge came out recently. I don't think it did, but
yeah,
that's the thing I hear the most. I think from adults is they'll say like, "Oh, that's how that person."
Yeah,
is.
that's how he is.
But if you want to change, like, if it comes from the inside, like, it's possible. And I think that's liberating in a sense, like, you know.
It is.
If you wanted to, you could uproot your whole life and go learn something and live in the Bahamas.
Fast.
Drink coconuts and be poor, but
exactly,
but like happy, you know. So we're talking about rapid skill acquisition, which is a big part of what Josh Kaufman says, and it's a process. So I'm just going to read this definition because I think it's important for people who are trying to understand rapid skill acquisition. So it's a way of breaking down the skill you're trying to acquire into the smallest possible parts. You try and identify which of those are most important, and then you deliberately practice those parts. So could you go into your idea of what deliberate practice is?
Yeah, basically what you said. But I think it's very important because I didn't do deliberate practice when I started out.
Yeah.
I did practice a lot. But like it's basically like working smarter, learning smarter too. Mm-hmm. Like dividing those subskills and really diving into each one individually. Yeah. Like that's way more efficient.
Exactly. True.
Smarter.
So with piano, can you think of some ways you might like be deliberately practicing?
Definitely the muscle memory, like learning where the keys are. I think I already know, but really like learning the positioning. So like I'm pretty sure I haven't looked into it, but I know like the position of the fingers and like tapping the keys, you know, and being more efficient with that. That's definitely a self skill.
Exactly.
It's definitely something I'll probably focus like on more individually, and then just learning chords and stuff like that too. Yeah. I haven't like looked into it, but yeah,
no,
definitely
exactly.
gonna be helpful.
So in terms of fast feedback loops, having a coach is a great fast feedback loop because they'll be able to like tell you what you're doing wrong. Yeah. And I remember times you would like look over my shoulder and be like, "No, you're like this is off, that is off, right?" Yeah. So they mentioned other things which I hadn't thought of, which I thought was pretty interesting. They mentioned like other fast feedback mechanisms like video cameras. Yeah, just thinking about different tools you can use to like create those fast feedback loops because sometimes I'm not always going to have someone to help me like learn and stuff.
Well, like the DAW is already made for that. Like, so you know, when you finish a beat, you export it and just whip, like bump in the whip.
Yeah,
just really listen to it.
Can you speak on what the whip test is then?
The whip test?
The whip test?
Yeah, you pretty much, when you think you're done with the beat, confident.
Yeah.
You export it, you send it to your phone, whatever, you play it in the whip.
Yeah.
And if it's hitting, it's hitting. If it's not, it's not. You gotta take it back to the lab.
It's not as boof, you gotta take it back. You
gotta cut out some frequencies probably on the melody.
Okay.
Make some room for the 808.
Have there been times where, like, what's the best time when you went in, you were in the DAW, you lay down some chords, you put the drums on, you're like, this is fire. So but you go to the whip and you're like, you play it and you're fucking like,
it was good or it wasn't?
Either one, like
well, I was gonna say recently, like it's hard. For me it's hard, especially because I hate using my mixing headphones. Honestly, like that's like not working smarter because I could probably like be a bit better, but I like feeling the bass from the speakers. I just like the speakers the louder.
Yeah.
The loud.
I like this line a lot, and I think it's simple, but because it's so simple, people overlook it. But your mind is like a muscle. How do you feel about that?
I totally agree. I can give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
You already know this. Like taking the cold showers.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a mental thing. Like it's not gonna hurt you. It actually just it's better for you physiologically, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely you're working the mental muscle right there for sure. You just gotta tell yourself it might hurt, whatever. It's unpleasant for a couple minutes, but you're fine. You'll get over it, and it's actually good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And doing that over and over again, like works out the mental muscle.
Exactly, and you fear it less. Like
exactly,
you could just dive in.
That's fearing it less and like being less resistant to it. That's the mental muscle getting bigger. As a result. Yeah,
I feel like that plays into why a lot of people don't change or don't pick up something that they've always wanted to do. It's like fear of like failing or things like that. Especially if you failed already. I remember I got cut from the basketball team freshman year, and like
oh really?
That hurt because like I was like passionate about basketball.
Damn.
So it was like heartbreaking. So I can at least understand like when you fail.
Yeah.
Like staying away from things. Like I didn't play for a minute.
Oh really?
But I got back into it, of course. Yeah.
What do you think about growth mindset?
So growth mindset.
She fumbled the bag. I'm weak.
This goes back into the stuff about the brain that I think there's certain things about the brain in general. This might be a little tangential, but like I think it's close enough. So growth mindset is something I wish everyone knew about. The basic idea was popularized by someone named Carol Dweck. She wrote a book. And so the basic idea is, your mind can change. You can pick up skills. You can learn new things. So there's the growth mindset and a fixed mindset.
Oh, the fixed mindset.
A growth mindset person is a person who believes they can change, and because they believe they can change, they actually act upon it, right? Whereas a fixed mindset believes they're stuck in the skill set they have. A fixed mindset person is like that person who said, "Oh, I was never good at math," right? Mm-hmm. That's the fixed mindset person.
Like people who say like, "Oh, that's how he is."
Yeah, exactly. That's how he is, and that sort of thing. So, one of the biggest things is they proved it that, and it's been proven that the mind can change. You can change if you want to learn something new. There's obviously books of people who have done it, and they're not making things up.
I think what these people don't get with the fixed mindset is like they don't realize that their thoughts aren't really theirs. Like they're too attached to their self.
Yeah. I think that plays a part of it, but I think some people never realize it. Some people maybe never get that like support of like, hey, you can do this.
Yeah. That's when it really becomes a fixed mindset. Like they grow old into that,
Exactly.
Old heads. I was saying. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to get them out of there.
Yeah, I remember from I think this is from the book itself, but so they did a study where they just kind of looked into how kids were approaching things, approaching certain problems, right? Yeah. And they found that if you were to compliment your kid by saying they're smart rather than hardworking, if you say they're smart, then when they can't solve a problem, when they encounter a difficulty, which is bound to happen,
they'll think
they're more inclined to go into a fixed mindset. Whereas if you tell someone you're hardworking or you spent a lot of time like trying to solve this problem,
you're resilient.
Exactly. So that leads into a person who has a growth mindset. And so it's definitely understandable that people have these mindsets, but I wish it was just more known that people can change. Like you can change, you can do it. 20 hours.
20 hours.
Start the clock. Without the proper inputs, your body and mind won't produce useful output. So how do you feel about getting proper inputs or having different inputs? How do you feel about inputs in general?
What dictates the result? I mean, like, there's nowhere around that either.
Exactly.
Whatever you put in, that's what you get.
Yeah. So how do you feel about challenging yourself in terms of inputs, like that meeting that resistance, doing the confusing thing?
Yeah. So like challenging yourself. An example would be, starting to exercise or starting to learning something that you'd be kind of putting off writing. Yeah, depending what inputs you put into that. Like let's say you start making beats.
Yeah.
And then you maybe don't practice as much, or maybe you're not watching tutorials, you get too cocky.
Yeah.
And you start putting in not as good input, and then you get discouraged. If you start, getting shitty beats.
Yeah, true.
But then you gotta take it back and look at your inputs.
Music as inputs, though. Like, do you feel like as a result of listening to good music, you're only bound to make good music? Like, do you feel like that's something that's you found true?
Well, in my case, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing in general it would apply to anybody, yeah. If you really like, good music is also subjective though. But like, yeah, the music that I think it's good, that I like, that I listen to, if you put in the work, you learn how to pick it apart, you develop an ear, you really listen to it all the time, you become hella familiar with it.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you're gonna end up making music like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of how, at least how I feel a little bit.
Time, but yeah.
That's how I feel about content, actually. Like, if you're consuming amazing content and you're a creative person, you're creating something. Yeah. Like, part of me feels like you're bound only to have, I mean, maybe you do need to get that 20 hours and start making, like, get those practice reps in, but you're bound to make good, have good output. Yep. Yeah. And then it just goes into like the idea.
Influenced by that. So it's almost like in a way, it's almost like that's the input. Yeah. You just almost like.
True. That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters. I mean, looking at your outputs to make sure that the outputs you want matter, but your focus should be on the inputs.
Exactly.
Do you know what spaced repetition is?
Can you?
Yeah.
Talk about?
So it's spacing out your repetitions of like learning something. So like as you're learning, the best time to review something is like right like when you're about to forget it, right? Mm-hmm. That's the best time. You can do it before, but like that's the best time. Essentially, by spacing out your repetitions, you'll transfer that information from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. So it's like studying how your brain works to like take advantage of. Like, yeah, it's like knowing how your brain works so that and you modify your study habits to how your brain works to make sure you're learning, to make sure, if you're doing it some other way, you're not doing it as effectively as you could, essentially.
Yeah. You got to honor your biology.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah. There's a line in the book that talks about that. I don't know if that's what they went into, like what we just said.
I think so.
Yeah. For me, having done my 20 hours, where do you think my journey goes from here in terms of music? And like knowing that like I also am making videos, like that's something.
Where do I think your journey will go from here? Or
like what useful skills in music or understandings would be useful for me to like go deeper into?
Mixing is going to be big for you because you're going to be mixing it into your videos, into the audio that's already in your videos, whatever you're saying, whatever. So that mixing is going to be huge. Like, okay. You might as well start now. And developing your ear. Okay. That's what I would tell anybody. Like,
how would I go about developing my ear?
Just like most people like us that listen to music, we're already doing it on a daily basis, Just try to be more critical, like when you're listening, if you want. I'd say that helps. Mm-hmm. Like really trying to pick apart the songs, the instruments. Like that's it.
Because for me, I always get inspired based off like other art. So like there'll be a song I listen to that I really love, and then that might inspire me to like make something similar. So what's the process of like when you hear something and you want to like aim in that general direction? Like
for me, well, like it's very specific, like because I will do that. Like I'll listen to music and I'll be like this, like I like this vibe. Maybe I want to like go in that direction. It would like if you it depends how like close you want it to that, but like you check out the tempo of that song, and if you wanted that, well, you use the same tempo or stay close around that. The key to like the root note of the song, of the melody, like that dictates the mood.
Okay.
All right. So that's definitely whatever you have to look at.
And what was that website again to find out the root note? What was it?
TuneBat.
TuneBat.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that.
Yeah.
Just going into.
I want to say so like finding out the tempo and like the key of a song that you like, even if you don't want to like you don't care about recreating it or whatever, or like making something like it, even just being familiar with that sound, and with the key that you saw that it is what it is, like A minor or whatever, that's like training number 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Being familiar with tempos, like there's a song that you already got in your head, you look up the tempo, like you remember, that's 130.
Okay.
That's a fast 130.
I'm starting to get it a little bit, but I definitely don't have an ear yet. But I feel like naturally my the music might go to like film, but also hip hop. Like I'm gonna like try and like see what I can do from that angle. And just play around with it. Really, just play. How do you feel about play?
It's play. I mean, don't get me started on play.
We're about to clips. What is play?
Yeah. Factor alert. Dude, play is life, bro. It's fun. Like I don't know. I feel like for me, play. Well, can you define like just anything, huh? Like
yeah, just
like from having fun.
How do you feel about play? I feel like there's different definitions.
It's important. You learn a lot through play. At least for me, like when it comes down to the beats, like when I'm just looking for sounds, just doing random shit, like that's played kind of.
When do you feel like you're playing the most when you're creating something?
You would like, I don't know. I like thinking of the arrangement of the beat. That's actually like really fun. That's play for me too. But like making the melody and just like the whole thing is, but like arranging the beat once it's already completed, you get the melody and the drums and everything. It makes a little like that's play because you already got like you got everything. You just like you're playing with it pretty much. Yeah,
true.
Like
I asked because I'm asking because like a part of it was like breaking the scale into subskills. So like like what subskill of the ones that you played, like you do and you feel like it's play, which of those subskills do you think you could improve on the most, and which one do you feel like if you could only do, like you would do that one solo, like if that was like your only choice, like what would you spend most of your time doing?
Making melodies. Yeah. Composing melodies for sure.
Yeah.
That's
and then does that go for the improvement too, or just like?
Yeah, I would like to improve that mostly too.
How do you think you can improve like making melodies? Like
I know learning the piano is going to help for sure. Like learning, because learning an instrument, you're going to have to become more familiarized with music theory.
Yeah,
you just
the language of music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was an important definition for me to learn. Yeah, like that, and that's a perfect definition. The language of music.
The language of music.
Yeah,
like if you're fluent with the guitar, piano, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, with making melodies, it gives you a liberty with some freedom with your creativeness. True.
Yeah,
and opens the doors.
Yeah. So, do you feel like there's a certain archetype of people that are artists?
For sure.
Would you consider yourself in that category?
Yeah. The innovator. It's funny. Like before you showed me that, I think that's what I like the most about music, or like being like for producers, I think the coolest thing is like being able to push the sound and evolve.
Yeah.
Like even like when when I started making beats like 5 years ago, like almost 5 years ago, like even the sound was different. Like right now, like I probably like it's hard it's rare when when I make a beat and I don't use like the bassy 808s now. Like that's the bass that has evolved.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's hella interesting because like even since hip hop has a thing, the bass has always been a thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how that's what's like evolved with. I mean, the whole sound too, the melodies, the drums.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's interesting how the bass still remains so key, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like one of the things that I focused on. I guess like a sub-skill is like I delved into music theory and chord progression.
Yeah.
And those sorts of things because I found that through a little bit of my research, I found that would help me the most in terms of like making music in general.
Yeah.
And I found it did like, and I found that I love that part of it, coming up with that, the chords and the melody through the chord progression and stuff. So
how do you feel about your progress right now? Like how do you like your beats? Are you comfortable where you are?
I'm definitely comfortable for the time that I put in, but I also don't really know what level I'm at. That's one part of it, because it happens so fast. I can't define like if it's good or not. I don't know if it's good.
Yeah.
Like it sounds good to my ear, but someone who's an expert or just like definitely done this for like a year or more, I'm sure I'm nowhere close to that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm happy with them. Like I listen to them and I enjoy, like I'm starting to enjoy the ones I'm making a lot more. Yeah. But definitely like the beginning ones. I was capping the whole time when I would be like, yeah, this is fire. Just because like I was just having fun with like the chords and stuff. But I can definitely hear from my first couple. And I feel like I should play some. Like I should play Trash Beat 1. I think that's what I named it. Trash Beat 1. Yeah. Because I thought like I was gonna make just a bunch of trash beats in a row, and just like I would just name them that. Yeah. Then I would like have better ones, and I would just like not name them, and I could like easily like just go between and just see what I made. But I'm interested. Like I think part of the video I'm gonna like play my early beats.
You should.
And just see where it was, and like I'm gonna play like my favorite ones. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll make one on the spot or something.
True.
You can just be like, too. Yeah, that'll be part of it. Have a speaker knock. Have my 808s fucking fuck up. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you identify the mental models in how to score?
So
for beat making.
For beat making, getting the core instruments, I guess like so through it wasn't too hard once I understood chords and how to have them sound pleasant. Yeah. I think that was a big like part of it. I don't know if I could call that a mental model. Maybe. I don't know how to define that right now. But yeah, so discovering what chords to play to make it sound melodic, to make it sound good. Yeah. And then from there, you really laid down some of the key components of the drums. Yeah. So from that point on, I was able to create and have fun with it, which is like part of this, like eliminating the barriers to practice. I think an important part is like learning enough of the skill set to where I made beats without like you being there. Yeah. The first couple of days, like I didn't feel too confident of that, especially the first day. I was like, I made something with you and you really showed me, but I wasn't like, I can make something like that again. Yeah. I had like no idea. So
and now look where you are.
Exactly. My shit.
20 hours.
Whack.
Factoids.
Facts. I guess you can tell me like, how do you think I progressed, or like, was there any moments that surprised you?
Were there any moments that surprised you?
Huh?
You were asking me?
No, yeah, I'm asking you like
that like, surprised me, like looking at your progress?
Yeah, looking at my progress and you guiding me and that in general. Were there what like you can talk about like any moments that
well, just the whole thing, like your progression, the rate of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what impressed me. Yeah.
Okay.
Just how fast.
So like I guess like the fact that I'm able just to make something now that's like decent.
Yeah. After in that short amount of time, like that's the most impressive thing to me.
Okay. So were there any surprises when I was making it? Did you ever like listen to it like damn like or just like
this is
like
bad
or like you were like knocking, you're like okay.
No, yeah. There's definitely oh, you made a melody. We could play the beat right now. At my house, remember? And then I put the drums like that's
oh
good.
yeah.
That was a good beat.
Yep. Can you play it? I forgot what it sounds like.
Why should be dog shit?
I know.
I actually have. I don't know if I listened back to it, but I mean, I don't remember it being bad. I would have to connect the speakers though, because
you could. Can you just play it like on there?
Yeah.
Or you could.
It's gonna sound just shit to the laptop.
Oh, I remember this melody. Yeah. This melody was hard. Like I was super hyped when I made the melody because I was like, the way it like
I only changed for like one note.
Yeah. Send that to me so I could like play it and like I could actually like knock to it.
Yeah. See, like I didn't spend enough time. Like it was some trash, but.
Oh,
and then I put
the flute.
Yeah, that's good. That was good.
Yeah, I felt like I was a knight in like shining armor. That's knight, the knight in shining armor type beat right there. So I guess so like, cause like you're gonna be in this video, right? So like, I guess you can talk about like, so how would you define yourself in terms of like what you do in terms of making music? How would you define yourself? Where do you feel like? Do you feel like you'll like hop on YouTube more or just like start putting your beats up more? Cause like like I look at I hear your beats and I'm like fire. You're fire, you know, like
thank you.
Yeah, you can like work with someone, you know?
Yeah.
And put out like shit. So like I want people to like from this video, I want people to like check out like your beats.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay, yeah.
Like I want them to like
I already have a YouTube
like lead
channel,
you
but
to.
I haven't uploaded. Like I'm just gonna start over pretty much.
Okay.
Like hell, it's so funny. Like I was thinking about starting over. Like I feel like so many artists do that. Like just producers, like rappers, like starting out, they it's all about experimenting. So like they'll change their name a bunch of times.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Like
tremendous cap.
Yeah, like Logic. I remember it was like Logical.
Oh really?
Like yeah, there's different rappers. Like they change your name and then
Logical. That's so funny. I get it though. Like I like that it's Logic now, but now it's making a lot more sense. Like he does speak facts.
Yeah, he's logical. Yeah,
facts.
No, yeah,
logical.
Yeah, that was his thing. Hella funny. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna start uploading more.
Okay.
Like actually uploading. Like I want to get on a schedule.
Yeah.
And just be consistent. That's what I mean.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, if you end up making something. Like if you have a channel ready by the time this video's cooked up, you know what I'm saying? I'll definitely plug it and have people check it out because I feel like people are gonna at least you can because you do this. So like if someone likes your beats, this is a natural way to like.
I can plug my SoundCloud in right now. SoundCloud is SoundCloud/prod game over. But I don't go by game over anymore.
Yeah. What is your what is your tag
now? I can
now?
change my name. It's Can You Guess? Just because of the tag. Like I really like my tag. Can you guess? So I just like, but yeah, I don't know like if it's gonna be like actually can you guess or maybe like a question mark, like that'd be cool.
Yeah.